Hello everyone and welcome. In this lecture, we will outline the main differences between English for Specific Purposes, ESP, English for Academic Purposes, EAP, and English for Occupational Purposes, EOP. The aim is to clearly define each area and show how they relate to different learning contexts, such as academic study or workplace settings. By understanding these distinctions, teachers and learners can better identify the goals and methods of ESP instruction. The session will also include practical examples to help connect theory with classroom practice, making the content accessible and useful for real-world teaching and learning situations. In English language teaching, many people know that ESP means English for Specific Purposes, but they may not always be clear about how English for Academic Purposes, EAP, and English for Occupational Purposes, EOP, relate to it. These three terms are often misunderstood or used interchangeably, especially in specialized contexts. The goal of this presentation is to clarify these distinctions. What does ESP really mean? How EAP and EOP fit within ESP? How do they differ in aims, learners, content, and methodology? And how do other branches of ESP also function in real teaching contexts? Practical examples are provided so that these concepts are not just theoretical, but easy to understand and apply. 1. What is ESP? ESP is an approach to language teaching in which the content and methods are based on the specific needs of the learners. In other words, ESP is not about teaching English in a general way. It is about teaching English that learners need for a particular goal. That goal might be academic study, professional communication, workplace tasks, technical training, or discipline-specific interaction. In all these cases, learners are learning it for a clear purpose. That is why ESP is usually described as needs-based, goal-directed, context-specific, learner-centered. So, ESP is the umbrella category. Under this umbrella, we usually find two major branches. 1. EAP, English for Academic Purposes. 2. EOP, English for Occupational Purposes. There are also other branches and sub-branches within ESP, which we will discuss later. 2. Defining English for Academic Purposes. EAP refers to English teaching that helps learners function successfully in academic contexts. This includes schools, colleges, universities, research environments, and other educational settings. The focus of EAP is on the language and skills needed for academic study. These often include reading textbooks and journal articles, understanding lectures, taking notes, participating in seminars, writing essays and reports, preparing research papers, giving presentations, and using academic vocabulary. For example, an international student who wants to study engineering at a university where English is the medium of instruction. That student will need to understand lectures, read scientific texts, write lab reports, and present projects. This is clearly English for academic purposes, because the goal is academic success. Typical learners in English for academic purposes. English for Academic Purposes, EAP, typically serves learners across the higher education spectrum, including university students, pre-university students, postgraduate researchers, international students, scholars preparing for academic publishing. 3. Defining English for Occupational Purposes. EOP focuses on the English language needs in the workplace or in preparation for a future profession. The key difference here is that the target context is not the classroom or university, but the job environment. In EOP, learners use English to carry out professional duties such as answering phone calls, writing emails, attending meetings, negotiating with clients, giving instructions, preparing workplace reports, speaking to patients, communicating with colleagues, or handling customer service situations. For example, a nurse working in an international hospital may need English to greet patients, ask about symptoms, explain treatment instructions, and communicate with doctors. English for occupational purposes helps learners perform effectively in professional or workplace communication. Typical learners in EOP. English for occupational purposes, EOP, typically serves individuals across various stages of professional development, including current employees, job trainees, professionals, vocational students, people preparing for specific careers. 4. The basic relationship between ESP, EAP, and EOP. This hierarchical relationship clarifies that while ESP encompasses all specialized English teaching, EAP and EOP represent its distinct domains, respectively adjusted to academic and professional environments. It is important to make the relationship very clear. ESP is the broad category. EAP and EOP are two major branches of English for specific purposes ESP. So, we can say ESP is an umbrella term under which we find EAP means academic purposes. EOP means occupational purposes. This means that all EAP and EOP are forms of ESP, but not all ESP is exactly the same, because the needs, settings, and tasks differ. One simple way to remember this is: if English is needed for study, it is usually EAP. If English is needed for work, it is usually EOP. In real life, the border is not always perfectly sharp. Sometimes academic study prepares learners for professional practice, and sometimes workplace communication includes academic-style tasks. 5. Detailed comparison, English for academic purposes EAP, versus English for occupational EOP. Here is a detailed comparison of English for academic purposes and English for occupational, professional purposes, framed within the broader field of ESP, English for specific purposes. A. Purpose. The purpose of English for academic purposes and English for occupational purposes is to develop highly specialized, context-driven language competencies that enable learners to function effectively in targeted environments. EAP equips students and researchers with the linguistic and rhetorical skills required for academic success. It focuses on success in education. Helps learners handle academic tasks. EOP targets workplace effectiveness. It focuses on success at work. Helps learners handle professional tasks. B. Context. The context is defined by the distinct environments in which learners operate. EAP is situated in universities, colleges, research institutions, academic conferences. EOP is situated in offices, hospitals, hotels, factories, airports, business environments. C. Learners. The learners are distinguished by their specific educational and professional trajectories. EAP primarily serves students, researchers, future academics. EOP primarily serves workers, Professionals, trainees, job seekers. D. Language skills focus. The language skills focus reflects the distinct communicative demands of their respective contexts. EAP prioritizes academic literacy skills, including essay writing, note-taking, summarizing, critical reading, listening to lectures, academic presentations. EOP targets workplace-relevant competencies such as emailing, telephoning, workplace conversations, instructions, meetings, negotiations, customer interaction. E. Type of vocabulary. The vocabulary is specialized and context-dependent, reflecting the distinct communicative goals of each domain. EAP emphasizes formal academic vocabulary, including academic vocabulary, discipline-specific terminology, formal and analytical language. EOP prioritizes technical and industry-specific lexicon, including job-related expressions, professional jargon, practical communication phrases. F. Text types. The text types in English for academic purposes and English for occupational purposes reflect the distinct genre conventions and communicative expectations of their respective domains. EAP focuses on formal scholarly genres such as essays, research articles, dissertations, reports, lecture notes. EOP targets functional workplace documents, including memos, emails, forms, manuals, workplace reports, spoken interactions. G. Assessment. Assessment is performance-based and aligned with context-specific outcomes. EAP evaluation typically measures academic literacy through tasks such as essays, presentations, reading comprehension, research writing, academic listening. EOP focuses on workplace competence via role plays, workplace simulations, email writing, oral communication tasks, job-specific performance assessment. 6. How EAP and EOP overlap. Although we distinguish EAP and EOP, they are not completely separate. In many situations, they overlap. For example, university students are often studying in order to enter a profession. Vocational students may combine classroom learning with practical workplace training. Professionals may need academic English for further certification or research. Postgraduate students may also work in professional environments. For example, a nursing student in training may need to read academic materials, write assignments, and also practice speaking with patients during clinical placements. So, part of the course is EAP, and part is EOP. This overlap reminds us that these are useful categories, but real-life language needs are often mixed. For example, in general English, learners might practice ordering food in a restaurant as a common life skill. In EAP, learners might practice summarizing a journal article. In EOP, hotel staff might practice taking a guest's room service order professionally. So, the difference lies mainly in specificity and purpose. 7. Teaching approaches in EAP and EOP. In EAP, teachers often focus on academic reading strategies, note-taking, paraphrasing and summarizing, critical thinking, essay structure, referencing and citation, formal academic speaking. In EOP, teachers often focus on task-based communication, simulations of workplace situations, spoken interaction, professional writing, telephone skills, presentations, problem-solving communication. Practical classroom difference: in an EAP class, students may analyze the structure of a research article. In an EOP class, learners may role-play a business meeting, or a nurse-patient interaction. So, even when both are under ESP, their classroom activities may look very different. 8. Why these distinctions matter. Now we may ask, why is it important to distinguish ESP, EAP, and EOP? The answer is simple: because these distinctions help teachers design better courses. If we know whether learners need English for academic study, workplace communication, or another specialized purpose, then we can make better decisions about course objectives, materials, activities, assessment, and teaching methods. For example, an academic writing course for university students should not be designed exactly like a spoken English course for hotel employees. A course for engineers in industry should not be identical to a course for engineering undergraduates. A medical English course must reflect whether learners are still studying medicine, or already practicing it. So, understanding the distinctions leads to more effective teaching and more relevant learning. English for Specific Purposes, ESP, represents a learner-centered approach to language instruction, prioritizing context-specific communication over general proficiency. Within this framework, English for Academic Purposes, EAP, and English for Occupational and Professional Purposes, EOP, function as two primary branches. While all three share core ESP principles, including systematic needs analysis, authentic materials, and genre-aware pedagogy, they diverge fundamentally in target setting, communicative objectives, and discourse conventions. This overview clarifies the hierarchical relationship among ESP, EAP, and EOP, distinguishing their pedagogical aims, typical learner populations, and instructional priorities. Precise differentiation of these domains is essential for effective curriculum design, material development, and targeted language instruction in specialized educational contexts. If the line between academia and industry is blurring, what's one skill you could teach tomorrow that serves both the researcher and the professional?